Alec Miller, welcome to Sunny G.
Thank you very much, Simon.
Community Radio. I know that you're a fan of the show.
Oh, yes. Always listen.
That was a wee test to see if you told lies or not there, so I found you out right away. Alec Miller, the reason you're here, Alec, primarily, not the only reason, you'd have been here anyway, but I've been trying to get you in here since November, December, when we had our Player of the Year presentation at Nethercraigs. To put listeners in the picture, that's every year. The players vote for the Player of the Year, and that's Nethercraigs, it's also Palace of Arts. It's basically everyone that plays what we call social walking football, or in Scotland here, recreational walking football, not the competitive side, although some of those boys are involved as well. And lo and behold, for some reason, they voted you the Player of the Year.
Yeah, I still question the sanity on that one.
It was quite a thing, wasn't it?
It was indeed, yeah. I mean, whenever you receive an award for something like that from the people,
Yeah, your peers.
yeah. It's much nicer.
And there was other votes. I took all the votes. I did all the accounting, if you like. Just need to trust me on that. But lots of other people that voted. Big Joe Casey got lots of votes. Frank Lynch, people like that. Good players still playing. Joe has had his health issues over the last while. We did a show with Joe. But I think your votes, Alec, were for three things. I think it was because of the way you help other people on the pitch and off the pitch. Your attitude towards people maybe who've never really played football before but are so enthusiastic in overcoming, and it's obvious now that you played football before. It wasn't very obvious before you'd had your hip operation.
Dragging my
it's
left
more
leg
obvious
around
now.
with me.
Pulling it behind you.
Yeah.
And thirdly, I mentioned off the pitch, but the relationship they have with some of the people that you facilitate them coming along to the game, you pick them up. So much so that I'm putting you forward for your PVC licence, your public service vehicle licence, because I think you're going to need a coach soon. Everybody you give a lift to the football.
Yeah, well, I've just bought a smaller car, so it's going
to
it'll be limited to 3.
You get a trailer for Jim the goalie then, you put him in it. How did that come about?
It was just something I was thinking about. How does Jim get to games? He talks about buses a lot. He knows every number and where it goes and what year it started. I just decided to offer him a lift. I wasn't going out my way. I was going that way past to get to Bellahouston, Palace of Art, near Craig's even.
Yes.
And he's only a few streets away from that. So yeah.
And then Craig, he's he's not your latest. He then jumped on the bandwagon.
Yeah, I said to Craig again, same as I did with Jim, would you like a lift? Where do you stay?
Right.
And he said, I'm 2 minutes from Ibrox.
Are you desperate for pals or something? Yes.
It's just nice, nice to be nice.
Yeah. And your latest acquisition, Jean?
Jean?
Jean.
Yes, she's an icon.
Did she bully you into it?
Just a bit. Just a little. Not too much, but she says if I don't pick her up, it would be trouble.
The threats there. I've just had an idea, I like that for a show, for a Sunny G talking walking football show, we just put a mic in your car for one journey. Take them a wee run for 10 minutes.
I know.
The three of them and you, and we'll just use that as a show because it'll be the most entertaining.
You won't hear anything other than Jim's voice anyway.
Can't get a word in. He's some boy.
He tells me every day about how many coaches he's had. and every time, by the end of it, it's the year changes, how many years. It goes from 10, 11, 12. I've had Simon, I've had this one and that one. It changes every time.
Every time we get a new coach at Glasgow Life, I say to them, that's you, Jim the goalie's coach now. It's okay you and I laughing, but Jim takes it all very seriously as well, doesn't he? Sometimes you need to be careful.
He absolutely loves.
Because he would hate to let anybody down. He's such a nice guy.
Oh, he's a wonderful human being altogether.
Yeah. The rest of the car will leave to another time. Yeah. Do you know that Jim came to a session we had just after COVID, when we were coming out of COVID? We had a session down at Alex Ferguson's park down at Braehead. Jim had to get the bus there, and he never turned up. I always worry about him. If I know he's meant to be there, he's the most reliable guy in the world. So I phoned him up and said to him, where are they? He was in Braehead Shopping Centre. He'd stayed on the bus. He'd missed his stop and got off at the shopping centre. It must have been quite enthralled to the shopping centre, so he had to walk around the mall, as they would call it, with his going outfit on. Never mind the football yet.
Looking for a pitch.
Aye, sees buses. Sees
But
buses.
he's a wonderful human being altogether, and he's a laugh, and he's got some memory.
That's what it.
He just keeps any songs that come on the station. I listen to Smooth or Gold. He names them. He knows them all.
Talking about music, you told me you're a big Beatles fan of that era.
Oh yeah.
60s.
60s, all that.
Yeah.
Beatles, the Kinks, the Rolling Stones.
Oh, we had the Kinks a couple of weeks ago. I think we'll have a Beatles number then.
Yeah, definitely.
Alec, walking football. Usually that's where I start. How did you find out about walking football? How did it become part of your consciousness at all?
I just started back in 2011, 12.
Wow. That's right at the very beginning in Scotland.
What happened was I was refereeing still. I was still playing five-a-sides and that with all the mates in the Glasgow Green.
Okay.
I was refereeing one day down at Greenock, and while I was running, I could feel something coming up into my chest, like when you've got a really bad flu.
Reflux, or, yeah.
So I felt that, and then it went away, and then the following week I was playing football over the Glasgow Green with the mates, and this thing came back again, and I started to get worried about it. So I went to the doctor, and then it just snowballed from there. Found out that it was angina.
Right.
Visited the Victoria Infirmary. They put me on the treadmill and put it up and further up and further up. So
The pace.
and they finished the test and said, yes, you've got angina.
Okay.
So the doctor was informed.
What age were you then?
It was what, 2000?
15 years ago, 14
Yeah.
years ago? You'd be 59, 60 at the time.
60, aye.
Can you tell our listeners then, angina is a word that we use all the time. What does it mean?
It means you may have narrowing of the arteries,
Okay.
which leads to heart attacks.
Yes. Stents and all the rest of it,
Yeah,
all the things.
well, that's where I went. I got stents put in. After you get stents put in, you go for rehab.
Yes, I've done it.
Victorian Infirmary
Been there.
classes.
Which is how I found walking football. I was in the gym on the treadmill,
Yep.
looking out the big window at Bellahouston, and saw these old guys
Yeah.
kicking a ball.
I was at an exercise class over in the Gorbals Centre
Okay,
there.
yes, go ahead.
And I missed it one week, and I came back the following week, and someone says to me, Alec, there's a wee tournament up at the Glasgow Green.
Right.
That was the launch
That was the
of
start
walking
of it.
football.
Wow,
Yeah.
you've been in since the beginning.
It's the very, very start, yeah. And it was strange, no goalkeepers, four aside.
Right,
It was waist high,
yes.
the ball. And
In the
basically
cages,
that's- in the cages, yeah.
Yes.
And basically that was how it
that was
started.
the start of it.
And it was just, I thought, I'm
That's
finished.
great, I
I'm
can
finished
still
with
kick a
football.
ball, yeah.
I can't go and play just in case. And my dad died at 47,
Heart attack.
heart attack, ischemic heart disease.
Okay. So what the Alec we see today, God, I didn't realise you'd been playing for so long, Alec.
Yeah, it's a wee bit.
Is the result of that, the fitness and all the rest of it? And
Yeah, I was pretty fit through the five-a-sides that I played. I'd
yeah,
been
there was
refereeing
a level of
since
fitness there.
1983,
Okay.
passed the exams in.
Right.
Haven't played football all my days from school.
Yeah.
And it was through the school team and into played churches football
Yes.
and just went to various leagues playing decent standard and
What was your position?
midfield.
What cause?
I was good at winning the ball and laying it off and let the more talented players do
Right.
the scoring the goals, but then I moved up a bit and started scoring goals. My manager says, I think we'll just leave you there.
Have you forgotten how to do that now?
That's quite obvious.
You forget these things.
Mo shakes his head.
You know what? There's a lot to unpack there. Firstly, refereeing.
Yeah.
I think I went through my course at 83. My son was born 80. I think 84 I went through my refereeing exam.
Yeah.
So we're not far behind you. We used to go to Jordan Hill. We went and kicked the ball about for a couple of hours.
I was at Helen Vale.
Yes, yeah. A lot of our peers would be the same as well, but I
Yes.
only ever refereed at amateur level, and I was always in Polis.
A lot of the top referees were there.
Yeah, McGinley and all these guys.
You learn quite a lot.
Yeah.
When you get through that exam, it's a lot to take in, but then it comes to you as you progress through your refereeing career.
Start putting in practice.
Yeah, and
It's a lot harder now.
all the guys at Helen Vale, all they wanted to do was talk about football and refereeing, which was great for the young boys, the younger
Just to
guys
sit and
coming
listen.
in. The people that were seen on television
That's right.
refereeing, that was a good time.
I think you might be the first referee we've had on here. You've never refereed walking football as far as I'm aware. Have you steered away from that?
No, never. Too busy playing.
Right.
What has indicated that you would like to see me up at the
Dennis
Dennis Donnelly
yeah.
Park? They've got a game going on there. The problem is my hip is still healing,
Right.
so they're looking for me to keep up with play.
Aye.
I'm going to be a bit behind.
Yeah. Is that not walking football then? Is that a game that they
It's
have?
a game. He's asked me a couple of times, but I've just not been available to do it with various things, family things.
You know what I find now with refereeing, and I don't referee other than walking football now, is I'm too grumpy. I used to say to teams laterally when I was in, because I would help out, when you stop refereeing, you still help out. And I was helping out with different leagues and charity stuff all the time. And I would go into the changing room and my pre-game talk laterally was, listen guys, I'm too old for this. And I've not got the patience for any back chat or any abuse. And I've not made any mistakes this season. And I usually make one a season. And it might be today, you never know. But I just never had the patience for the back chat. Because you get one in every team, don't you?
Because sometimes you've not played football through the years and you become a referee, and you're a pretty strict referee, you've still got to understand these guys are letting off steam. And I've not met many bad players who go deliberately to. There have been occasions, but not every game you went to. Don't get me wrong, Simon. I've had a few threatening what they were going to do to me. But it's just talk.
In the heat of the moment as well. It's 99% of it is heat of the moment stuff.
If you've played the game for years and you transfer to refereeing, you can't kind of understand what's going on in their head.
Yeah. And walking football is a different side completely. Because the referees we've got for the walking football do all the competitions now, the Scottish Cup and all the rest of them. They're all SFA referees.
Yes.
But some of them can't handle the transition from football to walking football because it's a different mentality.
Totally different. I think they're good, the guys.
Yes, it's just getting that change of mentality. I'll give you an example. Before the last Scottish Cup, the biggest one-day event in the world, by the way, and it's on June the 9th this year. Next week I've got Kenny McLean coming in, the president of the Walking Football Association in Scotland.
Brilliant.
He'll give us all the real details. I'm the referee liaison for walking football. And what I said to all the referees before we kicked off at the Scottish Cup was that it's a shift in mentality required. You and I were brought up trying to let the game flow. That's what we always tried to do. Let the game go, let it breathe. Let something go if there's an advantage and just keep a level. Clamp down at the start to get the level and then let the game grow into itself. Keep your cards in your pocket if you can. Use warnings and manage the game. It's different in walking football because you're blowing the whistle all the time. Because there's so many rules.
It's like players, in association football, would be like, they tend to hate the game to be stopped.
Yes.
And walking football's just the same.
Yes.
They hate the
But you need to stop folk running, you need to stop full touches, the height restrictions, to keep it safe. You need to be blowing your whistle a lot more.
You have to get a balance of not pulling everything up.
Yes.
And it is difficult because you've still got to get it across. No, we're not running. No, we're not tackling.
Because of the mixed abilities and mixed age groups as well, and the social side, you don't want injuries.
None of us can afford to have a bad injury. And while I was waiting on my hip operation, it was killing me that I couldn't play. And right after the operation, I've got a long road here.
Yeah.
But I was quite happy to get back.
You were missing the company in that car. You were missing Jim the goalie.
That's what it was, Simon.
Let's have a wee bit of the Stones now, since you mentioned that era. It gives me an excuse to play different stuff. The two you mentioned were Beatles and the Stones, so here's a wee bit of Rolling Stones, Alec, to keep us going. Alec, you mentioned your hip operation. I want to pick your brains a wee bit, and for our listeners, we had a guest in last week, Graham Salt, who was saying he plays in the 50s and they don't really have anyone that's had any operations or anything yet, and he was asking me questions about it. So there's definitely a thirst for knowledge out there, because it's coming to us all at different stages. If we're lucky, I'm going for my assessment as we speak for my new knee, and I'm going to be asking people about their experiences. I'm hoping to get some feedback here at Sunny G over the coming weeks and months. Can you take us through your journey? Not the operation, but let's go back to when you first thought there might be a problem.
That was, I think, the very first tournament at the Glasgow Green.
Okay, 2016, something like that?
I was playing for the Glasgow Green team. The weeks before, I felt a pulling in my groin.
Yes.
And I thought, I've injured my groin.
Groin injury.
And that persisted for weeks, months. It became, and I bought these compression shorts thinking it might help because that tends to support the muscle around the
keep the heat in.
Yeah, that sort of thing. And it didn't get any better. I thought, this is not quite right.
So this is the first thing. When I had a sore backside, really, the outside of my thigh, and I thought, it felt like my hip. But when I spoke to the doctor, when I was there for something else, I said about this pain that was persistent. Could it be my hip? I think it was in my brain, because Big Chris was getting his hip done at the same time.
Yeah, he did.
And he said, that's not where the pain would be for a hip. So straight away you've identified that as your groin, which is surprising to a lot of people.
That's where it starts.
Right.
That's where you feel it in the first instance. But because I was playing and refereeing, I just put it down to, you know, how when you're refereeing, you tend to have those bursts, you know, to when they play fast.
I'll say your word for that.
I put it down to that. Right. It ended up at the doctor.
And did he identify it?
It was a lady, and she had me on the couch and twisting the leg.
So she knew what
she
you were doing.
did a few tests on it, and she just said, right, okay,
Which hip was it?
Left.
Is the other one okay?
The other one has it in it, but it's nowhere near any.
Okay.
And that'll probably, that'll never be replaced now.
Do you think there's anything preventative that people could do in hindsight for you? Is there anything you were doing that caused it or that contributed towards it? Is there anything people could be doing in their 40s, 50s, 60s to prevent hip deterioration, or is it just coming anyway?
I had a problem with my knees when I was working on a huge printing machine, and going up and down the stairs. Going up, I was fine, but coming down, I could feel my knees going.
Right.
I started taking cod liver oil and glucosamine.
Yes.
And it disappeared totally, and my knees are still good to this day. If it was osteoarthritis or anything,
it's not getting worse.
It went, and it's not getting worse. So that worked for me. Obviously, you've got to chat to your doctor if you're going on to anything like that, because it can affect the thinning of the blood.
Yes.
The groin was just progressing, Simon. It was just.
So that's about, I'm guessing, 8 years ago, something like that, when you first noticed that there was a symptom.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good estimate.
How quickly did that go downhill then? Was it a very gradual thing for you?
It was.
Oh,
I had
refereeing.
to stop refereeing.
Right.
That, you know yourself, you have to keep up with player as near as
No,
best
that's
you
never
can.
been part of my philosophy.
I found that was my strength. My fitness was keeping me close to the play. You don't want to be too close to the play, but near enough to see what's happening.
I had a rule for myself that I would never be in the wrong half of the park when a goal was scored.
Yeah.
So you're at a corner at one end of the pitch, and the ball breaks, or the keeper catches it and boots it up the park immediately. And your striker, because you need to be able to see if it goes over the line, you need to be able to see, sometimes the nets are dodgy and all that, apart from offside and all the rest of it. So you're going to have to sprint from the 18-yard box, sometimes the 6-yard box, to the opposite end of the pitch.
You have, yeah.
So I decided I'm just going to stand on the halfway line. And if the ball goes one half, I'll stand over there. And if it goes the other, I'll stand over there. And my rule was satisfied. I was always in the right half of the park.
As long as you were happy with it. No,
Did you not cuss when the ball got broke away like that? Or?
Well, I always hoped that it didn't fall to the centre half who just leveled it up the park, and you were left trailing. And then once he booted it up the park, someone in their defence would shout, "Offside, ref!"
Sorry.
You know,
You're a mile away. You can't even see him.
Yeah, no chance. No, absolutely no chance of seeing
Here's
that.
a secret that listeners might not be aware of. See if it was true for you. Maybe it was only me that did this. See, when you get caught like that, and it's going to happen 2 or 3 times or more in a game, and the ball break, and maybe they score, or there's a free kick, you blow for a free kick. When the ball broke like that, and you were caught out on the wrong end of the pitch, and you start running, and then there's a free kick, or the ball goes out for a corner, or the ball goes in the net, God forbid. Did you keep running so that by the time they all looked at you, you were nearly there?
Yeah. Look at me, I'm keeping up with play.
Yep, here I am.
And here I am. Did anything happen there while I was trying to make my way here?
Tricks of the trade, eh?
But it's amateur football.
Yes. But as I say to people about walking football, Alec, the problem we've got is getting people to take it seriously before they come along, because they think it's Mickey Mouse, I'm not old enough for that yet, and all this stuff, I'm too fit for that, a lot of nonsense. Once they've been playing for 10 minutes, we can't get them to stop taking it so seriously. So football is football.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what level.
No, I took my wee granddaughter to one of the Glasgow Life sessions. She was 4 at the time. And there was other wee kids, and they all had a ball each, and they're running about. Some of the parents there were taking it as seriously as you could. Oh, you can't do this, do a good goal, get into him, and all this stuff at 4 years
You
of...
see it every game.
Yeah.
It's competition.
Yeah.
And once you get into competition, well, you want to win.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether it's walking football or
That's right.
Ludo or what, anything.
Yeah. Did you referee boys football, youth football?
Only on occasions,
Right.
not schools football.
Okay.
Although we have what we call the Gorbals Fair,
Yes.
and it was always St Francis again, Blackfriars.
All right.
And that was a yearly thing, and the boys loved it, and the whole place turned out to see the game, and it was taken very serious.
Yes.
It was taken very serious because the bragging rights for a year.
Of course.
But no, I never ever. Although I had done the odd game over at Rosebery Park,
Yep.
where the schools used to play a lot of their finals.
Yes. Yeah. Donnie Brooks.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Done it well, yeah.
I'm the treasurer of the Glasgow Colleges Football
Yeah.
Association, and Donnie's the president, as you probably know.
He's done some work over
I
there.
thought you were going to say he's done.
No, he's
He is done, by the way.
Yeah, I've done a while ago. Don't tell me I said that.
I will, I'll send him
Oh,
this.
good to see you that.
He never misses a trick.
No,
And he's one of the old referees we're talking about.
Donnie gave me quite a lot of help at Helen Vale, advice and things
Yes,
like that.
yeah.
how to handle the game, because
Yeah.
he had a lot of respect when he was refereeing.
Yes, for sure.
You know,
And he still meets up with all the rest, Colin Craig and all the old rest still get together.
Absolutely, yeah.
Brian McGinley and all these guys.
All these guys from my past are...
Some of the stories are great, aren't they? I'll need to get Donnie in here, that's what I need to do. Prize some of these stories out of them.
You'll have dozens of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Even the ones we went to in the university for the annual.
Right.
They were some great characters up there. Fantastic. I had a laugh we had at those things. But it was serious as well.
Yeah. Football's serious.
Oh, definitely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Alec, let's go back to the hip operation then, because I wanted to get this information out there, and I know that you went into it in great detail, and you're very well aware of all the issues round about it.
Mm-hmm.
You're diagnosed, you have to stop refereeing. When does it become apparent that you're going to need to get something done about it? You're going to need to... How long did you wait for your operation?
6 years from the diagnosis.
Okay. So you were on the list all that time?
I was on the list all that time, but my doctor said at the time, Alex, come back in 4 years.
Okay.
Which he then extended to another 2 years.
So that they could see the deterioration?
Yeah,
progress.
They say they don't do it too young.
Okay.
You know, because you might need another one.
Okay.
So it came within weeks.
So you were
of
about
6 years.
68 or 67 when it...
Yeah, I round about
Yeah.
it. But
they didn't want to do
it. He had
it?
been bothering me before that anyway.
Yeah, but they didn't want to do it
And
too
it
quick.
doesn't get better, as everybody knows. It progresses, and you get...
How do you manage it in that period then?
It
Painkillers?
impacts it. I hate taking painkillers. It's not my thing.
Right.
And it does progress. Your daily jobs, tying your laces, putting your...
Yeah.
And when I was going to referee games, and bending down to get your boots tied just became more of a chore.
Yeah.
And I mean, no, it's time to give it up. Which...
There used to be a lad went to Kelvin Hall. I remember his name, but I'm not going to say it because I don't want to embarrass him. But he couldn't tie his laces. He couldn't get his socks on.
Yeah, that's it. Especially if the football socks tend to be really elasticated, and trying to get down.
And he enjoyed the football, and he would have his shower and all that, and then he would say, "Can you day help me put my socks on?" You've never seen a changing room that emptied so quickly when he was there. Everybody was desperate to get out of that change. Some folk were still wet, getting their clothes on to get out of there, because putting these socks on was traumatic. It's better than putting my own on.
Just a few weeks ago in Bellinghuston, when I had brought these black elasticated
Yes. Yeah.
sportswear really, and when you've got your trainers on, I can't get them off. So Jean was help. Jean was helping me.
Can't say you're giving her a lift now.
I was nearly on the floor, and she's pulling at my legs, and everybody's laughing.
I wish you'd videoed it.
It was quite funny. It was funny, and they wouldn't come up because of my trainers on, and the rubbers was stopping them from coming off. And everybody was going, "What's going on here?"
What happens at the walking football should stay there, right?
Not now.
So the operation, when did you get the operation out?
July there.
Just July there, 2024?
8th of July, yeah.
Wow.
Last year.
I'm saying because that's only 9 months.
Yeah.
And how long? Tell us about the rehab then.
The rehab obviously consists of all the physio that you do. They give you a programme, you go and visit the physios, and you go there every week. But I said to the girl, they have a phone line, and you phone them at any time. If they don't answer, they phone you right back.
Right.
It's absolutely brilliant. If you've got any concerns, and you can, they just discuss it with them, and and they're very good. So I phoned and I was speaking to one of the ladies, and she said, I still feel a bit of pulling, Mr. Miller. It's a year it takes for this to heal, and plus
your age.
Depends, everybody.
Everybody's different.
Everybody's different. So it's, you can look at a year for yourself as well. It's going to take. it's,
How quickly were you back kicking the ball?
that was about
3 months?
3 months.
Yeah.
About 3.
And
Yeah,
what a difference, Alec. What a difference, isn't it? I mean, I'm talking about looking at you. That you can play again.
Oh, God.
You can move around
Everybody
the
keeps
park.
saying to me, you're moving well,
Yeah.
but you don't have the pain that you had,
Yeah.
which was restricting you. So
You only
that's-
realise after, don't you, how restrictive it was?
Oh, yeah, I'm dragging this leg behind me all the time, and if someone plays a misplaced pass to you, it's just like
Forget it.
and trying to
Because you
forget
can't
it.
turn or twist
And everybody
around.
thinks, oh, you could have got that ball, but you can't. It's just too sore.
And the thing you're doing now is helping other folk as well that you couldn't do before. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you can't move about. And they'd say, you talking to, but now you can say a wee tip here and a wee tip there.
Yeah,
and a wee bit of encouragement.
As Tom says to me, he says,
Tom
Alex,
Buffett?
yeah, this
Never heard him.
walking football is tippy-tappy.
Uh-huh.
I always remember he said that.
Aye.
And it's play the ball and move, play the
Yeah.
ball and move, and
Yeah.
that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And play the ball to people's feet and don't get them.
Because the big long passes, they might look good, and a lot of folk insist on the long. They would go for the longer pass before the shorter one every time, wouldn't they?
And the best I've seen about that is Joe Casey.
Yes.
Joe hits a fantastic pass. And
But it's only as good as the person on the other end of it. Alec.
yeah, it gets there and somebody just throws it away.
It bounces off them.
And it
See
doesn't
those
go-
3 touches? That takes me 3 touches just to get it under.
No, I've got a wee theory that I quite like, and I saw it in Paisley, a session I went to. Ryan, do you remember Ryan?
Yeah,
from
young lad.
Chapel?
Yeah.
I went with him one day, and they did four touches. So
Right.
the first one is just to stop the ball,
Okay.
which a lot of us
No, the
struggle
first
with.
2.
And then it gives you that 3
Yes.
to
You can move with the
you
ball
can-
a wee bit.
You can
Yeah.
take another touch, and but the first one allegedly you get the ball under control.
I'm going to try that because I've always insisted my 4th touch is brilliant. If I need to change that to my 5th touch.
No, but I thought it worked well.
Yeah.
All the boys and the girls that were there playing
Yes.
were used to it.
Yeah.
So
And that's the secret, isn't it? I've just, as you know, I've been on a holiday and travelling Australia and Singapore. Different rules everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's to suit the session. It's to suit the mobility and suit the needs of the session usually. And sometimes the competitive, if you like, will play different rules from the social.
Yeah.
And we do that. Sometimes in the low intensity, we don't worry about the touches.
No.
Doesn't matter. So we're letting people experience a wee game of football, kicking the ball.
definitely.
And it's very rewarding, isn't it, when you see that, when you see the likes of Ryan. But some of the people that we see coming along with are carers sometimes as well.
Yeah.
People who are on the spectrum and non-communicative at all. But when they score a goal, or make a great pass, you can see the joy in their face.
We had someone turn up at the Bella Houston a few weeks ago, a man and his daughter, and they absolutely loved it. He played football
Right.
in the past. You could tell
Okay.
he's some great touches,
Yeah.
but he's not getting mobility now.
Okay.
And the girl loved it. They came back for one session, but I've not showed up since. And I thought they've been written. They said all the things they were saying were
Positive.
"Oh, I love us."
Yeah.
That's what I haven't seen them since.
It's something that we're speaking about at Glasgow Life as well as a welcome package and not making a fuss of people, but making sure that they get all the information they need if they come along to try it. Because invariably they'll come back, but you need to be embroiled into it properly.
I did exactly that a couple of weeks ago. Someone came for the first time, and I just said, excuse me guys, this is Tommy. This is his first session here. Let's welcome him.
Yeah.
And they're all like, welcome Tommy, and that sort of thing. It gives a good feeling.
Yeah, it's nice to be welcomed in like that. Let's have your last wee tune here, and we'll go back to the Beatles again. Any excuse to play the Beatles, Alec? That's what I say.
Oh, every time. Yeah, love them.
Alec, tell us more about the rehab then, because I'm going to be going through this shortly. And what I've been told, firstly, painkillers I'm going to need, because I'm like you, I don't like them, I don't use them, I try to avoid them. And now I'm thinking I'll save them up. I've not used them, so they're going to be of use to me after this operation. How did you manage the pain for the first 2 or 3 weeks or whatever?
I've got a quite high
Tolerance.
pain threshold.
Okay. You married?
Yes.
Oh, of course you have.
I have. Hope she's not listening. The hydrocodone you'll get after, which is a very, very strong painkiller, which you will need in those first few days, and then you'll be weaned off that.
Days? Weeks?
I was days.
Okay.
I was taking it because they told me to take it for that period of time, but I just put them aside and I don't need any more.
Good.
I had immediately after the operation, I was really mobile. And
do they get you on your feet as quickly as possible, do they?
Oh yeah. For following day, you're up. Let's see, they try you on the stairs.
Okay.
And really, it's again back down to everybody's different, and everybody's got different pain thresholds, but once the painkillers wear off, you can feel it.
Aye.
But it's down to everybody's different, Simon, and you might need them, you might not need them.
Yeah.
I took them because they said this will help you, and then it allows you to do the physio.
Yes.
That they give you.
Does that start right away as well?
That'll start the following day.
Okay.
Yeah.
To get some movement.
Get the movement on.
And wound management as
they
well.
do an assessment and it gets past all the nurses and all that at what stage you're at. And this person is mobile.
Right.
So you'll get that sort of thing.
And your stitches out and all that stuff, wound management and all that.
Yeah,
you clear infection and all that stuff.
You'll get infection control stuff.
Right.
You'll come home with a whole load of stuff.
Yeah.
For different things.
Did you get much sympathy at home?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I actually, Jean exceeded herself. She looks after me all the time anyway. She's younger than me. But yeah, it's the daily things you can't bend down to.
Yeah.
It's getting in and out of bed. Possibly the hip is worse.
Yes.
For getting in and out of bed than your knees will be. It's just every day you can do something
a wee bit better.
A wee bit better.
What Chris Buck told me, I think I mentioned it on here before, was the surgeon told him for the first 2 or 3 weeks after the operation. Now his was a hip, but it wasn't a replacement, it was the resurfacing. Yeah. Said to him, you're going to think in the first 2 or 3 weeks, I've made a huge mistake here. And then once you get through that first 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to think maybe there's some light at the end of the tunnel here and you can start doing more and start doing the rehab. And he said 3 months down the line, you'll think, this is the best thing I've ever done.
Yes,
would you agree with all of that?
Oh, definitely. The things that I can do now, I couldn't do before the operation.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm going to struggle here. This is never going to get better. Yeah. But it's just things just...
Do you think I'll be able to play the piano after the operation?
Oh, yeah, that's the best thing about it. You become a musician.
Because I can't play the piano to do it, but that'll be great.
It'll come from somewhere. It's like God giving you a wee gift because he's taking your knees. I wouldn't say every day, but every week I was out walking. I was out every day, but every week I felt the difference.
Yes.
And I was walking further. My wife was going with me, and it's crucial that you use the crutches. Use the crutches
effectively.
Don't say, I can manage without them. Don't even attempt it. Use them until you're well on your way. That's the advice. Do not say, I'll dump them.
I'm going to finish up. Just something else I wanted to cover with you, but before I do that, I got a message from Drew Wilson this morning. You know Big Drew, coach, yes. Glasgow Life coach. He's now the Walking Football Scotland Parkinson's man. He looks after everything to do with Parkinson's because sessions have kicked off all over Scotland and he's behind them, helping get it facilitated. And he tells me that there's a new one starting on Monday the 3rd of March at Toryglen.
Yeah.
And that's in addition to the one we already have at Tory
Oh, yeah.
Glen. This will be some of the same people coming along for football and some new people that can make it on a Monday, maybe couldn't make it later in the week. It's just incredible what's happening. And that's what I was going to ask you. 2011, that was the very start of walking football, not just here in Scotland, in Glasgow, but pretty much in Scotland. It kicked off just about that time.
Yeah.
You must have seen so many people and seen so many lives affected by walking football in that 14-year period.
Absolutely incredible. The people I've met, and everyone I meet who is going through a similar thing with, like you and I are.
Yes, physical health issues.
After this, after you're better, walking football is the time for you. I keep telling everyone, get there. You'll love it, and it'll help you.
Keep moving.
Mentally and physically, everything. It's all there.
Yeah. And COVID maybe made that even more profound for us because we realised during those 18 months what we were missing, meeting up with folk and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, and that's immediately what I felt. What was missing, all these guys, all the para, the jokes I have, they carry on. It's just too much to lose all at once. All of a sudden you're playing football and all of a sudden you can't do anything.
The two things I'd say walking football, you bring to mind for me with walking football, Alec, is the first is that it's great for making new friends. You used to have no friends and now you've got 3 pals in the car with you coming to the sessions twice a week. Yeah, so it's great for making friends for people like you. I appreciate that,
getting me a bus. I think you're
although you're putting first buses out of business, I think there might be a wee complaint coming in there. And the second thing is that, I alluded to this earlier about being a referee, as you get older you get grumpier. One of the refs at one of the tournaments said to me, it was over 70s, and I said, oh, this will be the easiest tournament. And he said, oh, Simon, it's the moniest tournament, over 70s. But you're bucking the trend there, Alec, because when I first met you a few years ago, up until July of last year, you were one of the moniest, greediest, grumpiest.
Yeah, still.
And since you've had your hip operation, you're now Mr. Happy.
Yeah.
So it just shows you it's never too late.
It's only people that I'm playing with that changed my outlook in life. like Jim.
I do need my last ribeye is going to be about this women's game on a Friday. It's developed now a women's versus men's session on a Friday morning at Palace of Arts at 10 o'clock. And you played for the women's?
No.
No, you're in the men's team?
I was in the men's.
You progressed into the men's team?
It wasn't really a game on Friday. It was more of a massacre.
I heard it was 16-3 for the ladies.
I didn't think it was that much.
Maybe somebody's been counting the replays.
15.
Let's get on. They get better.
We need a couple of midfielders, ball holders, and
to help you out
to move it on. But we'll come back at them.
Well, back next Friday, but I've still got my stick.
Don't be so smug just now, ladies, because we're coming back.
You heard it here. Alec, thanks very much for coming in and doing that. That was great.
Thanks,
and we'll get you in again in the future to let us know how you... Because there's lots we haven't spoke about as well, about your family and your job, your career. What did you do for a living?
I was a printer in Mulgai.
Okay.
And I was there for 39 years.
Wow.
Progressed through the ranks, became a shift manager, moved up the ladder.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a long 39 years. Travelling from the Gorbals to Mulgai.
Right. Good, Alec. Thanks for doing that, and I'll see you during the week.
Thank you.